MyPMNation.com.
Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet, Matt from IPMNation.com, here at The Planet with, as always, Tim Martin, who is making sure everything sounds good and, I was looking for another word. I was going to say melodious, but that doesn't really work for, the music itself. I mean, the music itself is melodious, but you had nothing to do with that. So, never mind. But anyway, Tim is here making sure everything sounds good. If you need a DJ for your shindig, go to centralnhevents.com. You can hire Tim. He does a great job, centralnhevents.com. And if you say, is that still active, Tim? If you say shindig, you get a discount?
Always, 10% off for shindig.
10% off for shindig. So, keep that in mind if you hire Tim, which you should definitely do. And sitting here with Cadaver. How are you?
Pretty good yourself, man.
Good. Welcome to Local Outbreak. And you brought somebody with you.
This is my assistant, Coattails.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Welcome, Coattails.
I like to bring everybody with me to a radio interview or any event, if you will.
Well, especially, if you have an assistant, that's pretty cool. I don't have an assistant.
You want one?
So good. No, it helps out with the workload, absolutely.
Yeah, good. That's great. Well, why don't we play something? You brought some tunes with you, and you have a full-length disc, correct?
Yeah, Death by Design. You can find it on CD Baby, iTunes, Ja Buddha, in Tilton, New Hampshire.
Okay. Oh, and right up front, so people know how to find you online when they go to look for your stuff. How do you spell your name?
Cadaver, K_Daver.
All right, just so people aren't, typing in cadaver.
No, absolutely not. People have issues finding it a lot. So
really?
Yeah.
Well, let's play a track from your disc. What do you want to play?
We're going to start with Monster. It's just a hard, aggressive, political banger.
I like this one a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, this is Monster from Cadaver here on Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet.
I thought I told you I'm a monster, and I can't be stopped. I got a plan that just can't be tied. Motherfucker, I'm a monster. Understand me, I just a fan, think we fan, we not. You are fucking with a monster, and I can't be stopped. I got a plan that just can't be tied. Motherfucker, I'm a monster. Understand me, I just a fan, think we fan, we not. Get down, on the ground. 45 cal, motherfucker, lay him down. Down in the ground with the worms and the maggots. Put them in a bag when I'm busting at the faggots. Make third bitch, doors to the fullest. Skin made of steel that's resistant to the bullets. This ain't my first rodeo. Check the damn resume, been in it for a minute. Today's our day. There's no more easing. Give me one reason. Get this squeezing and medics you need it. Blue Cross, Blue Shield, never will I yield. Slap motherfuckers, this is our field. My fear base deep, hype off the last drop. Moving for the White House, that's a fucking fact, dog. See me on the street, bitch, if you wanna. I'm handing out candles, got your fucking corner. I'm a monster, and I can't be stopped. I got a plan that just can't be tied. Motherfucker, I'm a monster. Understand me, I just a fan, think we fan, we not. You motherfucking with a monster, and I can't be stopped. I got a plan that just can't be tied. Motherfucker, I'm a monster. Understand me, I just a fan, think we fan, we not. Motherfucker, Crips in my right, 1245, juice to my life. See if you survive. Down in the trenches where real dogs lay their head, pumpkin for the lid. Lay down, make no bad, look into my eyes. Nothing but the truth. Talking all that shit. What you gonna do? Fuck Barack Obama. Fuck the Bush regime.
Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet. Matt from IPMNation.com sitting here with Cadaver and his assistant, Coattails. Is that how you got your name, Coattails? Is it because you're riding his coattails, or is it something completely different?
Nope, that's absolutely it.
Really? Okay, I figured. Yeah. That's cool.
The name came before the assistant part.
Oh, right, okay.
I just want to be there to party.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Now I have a job.
It all works out.
2 birds, 1 stone.
That's right. So, K. Daver, where are you from?
Central New Hampshire originally.
Okay.
I've moved all around since then.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's basically the headquarters, and that's where I want to put my focus to, because that's what I feel. Central New Hampshire has never had a music scene. You've had a few bands kind of do their thing and then drift off or move away, and if they ever do have success, they in then turn give success to the next place that they move. But they never give Central New Hampshire the credit it deserves. For instance, Triple H is from New Hampshire, and you'll be damned if you'll ever hear him talk about it.
Right.
Maybe in an interview he'll kind of put it in, then he'll roll off topic. Adam Sandler, and I don't know what it is, but everyone's almost ashamed of being from here, so why not just put it on the map?
That's interesting.
And
we heard the track Monster, and tell me about your lyrics, because it's not like what you typically hear on FM radio, on commercial FM hip-hop radio. I mean, what are the kinds of things that you like to rap about?
Pretty much my focus just straight comes from what's real. If it's not real, I don't talk about it. If it's not a real-world issue, if it's not something that could happen, I don't talk about it. I don't talk about what I don't have, which is a Benz in my parking lot. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk about that new Humvee.
Right.
I don't talk, no, that's all pointless stuff that's been talked about time and time again. And we need to talk about real world issues. And if you have a track that isn't about real world issues, at least speak something, bring something new to the table.
Right.
I mean, throughout my CD, for instance, there's a track on the CD, Miss Beautiful. That's not speaking about real world issues, but in turn, it is speaking about issues that kids might go through in high school.
Sure.
And possibilities. Realization. It's a track that we're going to be playing later. Basically, I put myself in the shoes of someone that's in Iraq, writing home to his wife.
Yeah.
And was I in Iraq? No, but I was putting myself in his place so people could feel his pain.
Right.
And just instances like that. And yeah, I mean, you got those tracks where you just kind of spout off, but I like to keep those few and far between.
Right. How long have you been doing this?
7 years this fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, have you always had that sort of focus with your lyrics where you're writing about, real things, as you put it? Or, I mean, was it like that from the beginning, or did you start out more kind of emulating what's popular and then kind of found your voice?
I didn't start out speaking the way I do now. That's just evolution. As people, we need to evolve. If I was speaking about the same stuff I was when I started, something's wrong.
Yeah.
When I first started out, man, flat out, I don't really like to talk about it, but it's a little embarrassing, but here it is.
Okay.
Flat out, man, it was straight horrorcore, it was straight gore hop, it was straight how brutal can I get? And now, again, keep this in mind, I've been writing since I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
So at 15 years old, what topics do you really have to speak about? But anyway, just as I graduated and I got older and really saw the world for what it was, man, that's what really kept my mind in an evolution process.
Yeah.
And stopped talking about what wasn't important to what is.
And can you clarify for listeners who may not know when you say horrorcore, or what was the other term that you
Gore hob, whatever people want to call it.
Yeah. What is that exactly for people who don't know?
Basically, man, I mean, there's several different genres within itself.
Sure.
You got the Insane Clown Posse, which I can't swear on radio, but they call it wicked. People out there know the term.
Yeah.
You have horrorcore, you have gore hop. Basically, horrorcore and gore hop, the main purpose is to shock the fans. It's like a horror movie on track. Who can I kill in this? Like, I'm Jason, and I'm coming through just slaughtering people.
Right.
And I did that for one record. I put it out, and through that crowd, everyone loved it for the most part. And then as I kept writing, excuse me, I got into business with another producer. He opened my mind to other things, so we started doing that. That record actually was never released because of just a falling out. But in either case, I regrouped, got my own recording studio, put it together, and did the new project, in which is just I want to open people's eyes and let them see what's real.
What I've heard is pretty sophisticated lyrically. Was that a natural evolution for you, or did you have to at some point make a more of a conscious decision that, okay, I think I want to take this in a more sophisticated direction instead of just doing, because I would think with the horrorcore stuff too, it's very kind of limiting in that, you're just kind of trying to be shocking. Yeah. We almost exist in an era where nothing is really shocking anymore.
Exactly. And to answer your question, in 2 parts. Basically, nothing is shocking anymore. So the horrorcore that I was doing, while I got responses from parents, what I'm doing now is far more offensive because it's real. And the truth is always more powerful than fiction. But to answer the question again, it was definitely a conscious decision. It got to the point where people asked me, "What's your point? What are you getting to?" Yeah, and I had to really answer the question myself. What am I doing?
Right.
I mean, do I want to be 30 years old talking about killing people? No, it ain't like that, man. Yeah. So pretty much what you hear on record is me. There is nothing fabricated, and it is what it is.
Yeah. And are fans, younger fans, receptive to the lyrics? Because I would think for some people, again, I'll mention, commercial FM radio type hip hop, it is all about the bling and stuff that's not real, and it's all about the image. Do fans, are they able to, from what you've experienced, from the feedback that you get from them, is it easily relatable for them, the kinds of things that you're rapping about, because it's maybe different from what they're used to hearing?
To a degree. That being said, I have had young kids come up to me and speak about real issues, how their parents or whatever have a drug problem or a broken home, and so these lyrics really touch them. Yeah. And they are more intelligent. I hate to say that, but a little more intelligent, a little more matured than the average 13, 14, 15-year-old kid. Yeah. That being said, I do attract an older audience, but the younger audience that is attracted to me is generally with an open mind, or they just really love my texture, the chorus, or the beats. I like to keep production at an all-time 10. I mean, if you're not doing what you feel is a 10 out of 10, then why are you doing it? Right.
And also, too, I'm sure for some people, the lyrics, if they can't relate to the lyrics, at least you have the rest of it. You have the production. A track like Monster, even if you don't pay any attention to the lyrics, which is, for me, it was hard not to pay attention to the lyrics because I listened for that and I was immediately interested in what you were saying. But even removing that aspect from it, it's so catchy. Yeah. It's so sonically appealing anyway that even if you're not, because not everyone listens to lyrics. To some people aren't necessarily paying attention, but they're hearing the rest of it, and that's what grabs them, the hook or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like we were talking about earlier, just to reiterate, Tupac, when he was writing songs, he would say them in a melodic manner that would in turn be catchy to, at the time, suburban kids or people that wouldn't feel it, but he would say it to the kids who actually would feel it. Right. And that was very powerful with Pac. He could 2 birds, 1 stone, and several demographics with just, a series of words in one line.
Yeah. Is he someone who's been an influence on you, or tell me about
Tupac?
Some of your influences?
Tupac is more of an influence on a personal level than an artistic level. On an artistic level, I think he's a great rapper, but more or less he was a great person. Yeah. And it just is what it is. It pains me to see kids rolling around with Tupac memorabilia that don't even know what the man stood for. You know what I'm saying? Right. I made a quote, I made a quote like a couple weeks ago, and I said, you're rolling around with Tupac merchandise, but you don't know what the man stood for. What's next? A purple T-shirt with a faded image of Malcolm X saying "Keeping it real." Yeah. I mean, that's what it feels like. The man was a spokesman for his people, to get them out of poverty.
Right. And unfortunately, that Malcolm X example, that doesn't seem that far-fetched. I can actually see something like that happening.
That's what scares me.
That's what's sad.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, so you have the full length out now. Was your you'd mentioned the first disc that you put out, was that a full length?
That was full length as well. Okay. I've always done full lengths because as a fan, I've always loved full lengths. Mm-hmm. When they do EPs, man, like, that's cool, but I'm always left hungry.
Really?
But not in a hungry manner to where I want more, in a hungry manner of let me see who else is available. Yeah. I'll stop going to you for my food. I'll go to somebody else.
Right.
I just thought EPs were just a very shoddy ploy of business.
Really?
It just really felt like EPs were put out to make some quick cash. And that's what I feel music should never be, is quick cash. You should be always speaking to your audience in full force.
Right. Yeah, because that does seem to be a trend now, is doing EPs or not even necessarily releasing them as even an EP, but just a lot of artists will release just singles, put them on iTunes, and that seems to be where a lot of it's going. Even with some major label artists or former major label artists who are now striking it out on their own, and they're trying different strategies. But so you prefer the more traditional way of putting out a full length?
Absolutely. And I want to tell a little story real quick, if it's okay.
Yeah, sure.
And this man shall remain nameless because, you know, it is what it is. I don't want to be too embarrassed, but I was in Venice Beach on tour handing out CDs because I was actually promoting my upcoming show, handing out flyers. And I was rapping in a circle of people, and someone goes, "Hey, go talk to my boy." I turned around, and it was someone from the Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. And he shall remain nameless, not to throw him under the bus. But he was on hard times, man. They were on Venice Beach Boulevard just selling CDRs with marker on it.
No kidding.
Yeah, so that scared me, dude.
Yeah.
So that's why you always got to be in control of your destiny. Yeah, he might have had a hit record in 93. He doesn't own the masters to it.
Right.
You know, they're making the money off it still.
Right, absolutely. Well, I want to, in a few minutes, I want to talk to you more about the business end of things, because you're also very active that way, not just as a recording artist, but also with business too. But why don't we play another track, and then we'll come back and talk some more. What do you want to play?
Right now we're going to play Never Gonna Stop. It is pretty much a street anthem. And yeah, definitely, if we ever perform this show, whenever we perform this song live, the crowd is always hyped for it.
Really?
So Never Gonna Stop.
All right, Never Gonna Stop from K. Daver here on Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet.
Never gonna stop on this air in my lungs. Call up the haters, let's have some fun. Move to the right, swing to the left. Grab 'em by the neck and choke 'em to death. Never gonna stop on this air in my lungs. Call up the haters, let's have some fun. Move to the right, swing to the left. Grab 'em by the neck and choke 'em to death. I don't got myself, but I am the hot topic. Wanna try to stop it, get shot for the nonsense. Cause when principle overrides purpose, you'll be found stripped in the dirt of the worthless. I've arrived at crack back in the 80s. Shivering, quivering like a bad case of rabies. Picked up a hook, I told her like you're rough. Said yeah, whatever, then I choked at the shit. Cause I do what I want, when I want, how I want. If you don't like it, tell me when you want. Your funeral opens, I prefer it closed. Sledge to your skull, now there's blood on my clothes. Talking up tough, all up on the internet, saying you gonna kill me. I won't forget, when we face to face, it's pretty obvious. Shit was sad, bitch, I don't get what the logic is. Never gonna stop on this air in my lungs. Call up the haters, let's have some fun. Move to the right, swing to the left. Grab 'em by the neck and choke 'em to death. Never gonna stop on this air in my lungs. Call up the haters, let's have some fun. Move to the right, swing to the left. Grab 'em by the neck and choke 'em to death. Yeah, I'm a man, myth, nickel-phone legend. Got him in suspension for my 4-year detention. Last 4 years, sidelined by injuries. Thinking they figure me, it's just epiphany. What they gon' do? Roll with a 22 or plus 50 times to the insides of you. I load the clip, aiming at the sternum. Game operation, so tell me where it burns. They scared individuals speaking out of fear. Body tenses up when I'm near. I'm being evil, I'm straight up deceitful. Sign you to my team, next week I release ya. Turn around like crowds, watch this happen. Business is business, just another transaction. Caught up in a man's game, talking shit for fame. Cock the hammer back and I'll make the blood rain. Never gonna stop on this air in my lungs. Call up the haters, let's have some fun. Move to the right, swing to the left. Grab 'em by the neck and choke 'em to death. Never gonna stop on this air in my lungs. Call up the haters, let's have some fun. Move to the right, swing to the left. Grab 'em by the neck and this how we do it. Yeah, made it in my time. Always be priceless, talking mad noise. Show you where the knife is. See me in the club. Hate turns to love. Broken bottle puncture wound right above your lung. Laying on the ground, wheezing out air, bleeding profusely. It ain't fair. Worse than an emo, at least they openly gay. You stuck in the middle, like which way do I sway? Faggot ass producers, too good for a custom. Roll up to that studio, spit it and bust 'em. Holes in the industry, biggest the haters. Bang knuckle platers, put 'em on the respirators. Trying to get over, straight mocking minds. Now you spread eagle, pigs talking lines. Take out your crew, full out blitz. Now your body's just straight, it's this. Get 'em, Dava, baby.
100.1 The Planet's Local Outbreak with IPMNation.com.
Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet. Matt from IPMNation.com here with K. Daver and his assistant Coattails.
Yep.
How did you get to be his assistant, Coattails? Tell us about that.
I was just around all the time, you know. I was always there for him, you know, rides, you know, if he ever needed a business deal, you know, I was always there. I reviewed everything, and eventually he was just like, you want to be my assistant? And I said, well, why not? You know, I'm already doing it. Might as well get, you know, a little bit of money out of it.
Nice.
Have some fun.
Yeah, good deal. Now, how is he as an assistant?
I'd give him a 10 out of 10.
Really?
He's always there. If I tell him to do something, he does it. There is never, you know what I mean? I've had people in crews where they were my assistant at the time. I tell them to do something, they wouldn't do it for days.
Right.
If I give him a task, he does it.
Yeah.
Always, consistently. And the number one thing about business is follow-up. You got to follow up.
Right.
You can't ever leave a cliffhanger.
Right.
And he's very good about following up. And there's people in the industry that aren't even good on that.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
I'm booking shows, and the promoter will leave me hanging for 5 days.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So, I mean, that's amateur. That shouldn't happen.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of the business, let me ask you this, because I'm always curious. What is it that drove you to, in addition to being a recording artist, also want to start? You have your own label, which we haven't talked about yet, Death Notch Records?
Dead Notch Records.
Dead Notch Records. And well, what is it that made you decide to start the label?
Just straight out 110%. I wanted to be in control of my own destiny. And I knew from day one, if I was to sign over to another label, I would never have full control. It's not even money. Not even money. So, yeah, if you're an independent label, such as myself, you get full proceeds. But take that out of the equation. No, I want to be in control of my destiny. I want to be able to say what I want to say, when I want to say it. I want to do shows whenever I want, however I want. And I don't want some nerdy A&R to come up to me and tell me how to do it.
Right.
These A&Rs, it completely baffles my mind, because the music is the one business where these A&Rs have no background in music.
Right.
At best. They had a band 20 years ago that fell off doing club gigs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and those are the same people making big decisions. And it's like, it feels like they're police officers who were abused children, so now they want to take it out on everybody.
Yeah.
And, but no, straight up, fully in control of the equation, fully in control of the situation. And, again, man, people told me I'd never be anything growing up, so I'm coming back and I'm going to throw it in their face tenfold.
Yeah, yeah. So you started the label, and you also book and promote shows, and you had the big show at the Artemis Event Center. Is that what
the Artemis Event Center in Franklin, New Hampshire? The name might change in coming months because it just got taken over by I'm Thirsty Entertainment, Dave Southworth and his crew. Which, if he's listening to this, big ups to Dave Southworth. I can't thank him enough for everything that he's done. And we had a big show at the Artemis Event Center with Axe Murder Boys from Psychopathic Records.
Yeah.
Showing off the hook, and we're doing bigger shows from here on out. So keep on up. One in the works right now for New Year's, which, if you're in the local area of New Hampshire or surrounding state, you're definitely going to want to check that out. And from here on out, just big events.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being associated with events that don't make profit.
Right.
If I'm in control of the situation and I'm headlining, it does good. But it seems like when I try to take surrounding talent from the area, people just aren't serious for whatever reason, and I'm not even going to point a finger.
Right. Well, and you and I talked about this before. Is I feel like a lot of people. I always say everyone wants to be a star, but only as long as it's easy. A lot of people think that if they're talented, and God knows there's a ton of very talented people in the scene, but some people think that as long as they're talented and they go out and play some shows, the mythical record company Scout, which local Outbreak listeners have heard me rant about before, is going to show up one night and offer them $1 million contract and be flying them out to L.A. And, it doesn't work that way. There's actual work involved. And especially if it's whether you decide you want to be in control of your own destiny as you have, or if your goal is to be signed by a label, if you really want that, you still have to prove that you are marketable, and you still have to go out and promote and market yourself for a label to even be interested in you to begin with. So it's almost like you have to do it anyway. You have to do the work anyway, whether you want to ultimately be on your own label or have someone else sign you. And a lot of people don't understand that, and they think that they don't understand the music business is called the music business because it's not just about the music. It's a business.
Absolutely. Now listen to what you said, and how does that make any sense? So I'm going to go out, I'm going to show you that I can do it, I'm going to make a living off of it, and then I'm going to let you take my money?
Right.
I mean, where does that come into an equation?
Right.
I don't care. Give me an A&R from Sony, give me an A&R from BGM, whoever, and I'm going to look them all in the face. And if they're not talking money, then the talking don't matter. A lot of these artists get advancements of $1 million to $2 million, and then are in debt for the rest of their life and have horrible credit, because that advancement, what no one realizes, is a promise to pay that money back.
Right.
And if the label does not make money back from you, you in turn owe that money.
Yeah.
And that is, no, it ain't happening.
Yeah, it's called recoupment. The label recoups that money. Mm-hmm. And you don't make money as an artist until the label has gotten all their money back that they invested in you. And yeah, people don't realize that. It's like years ago at TLC, they had a triple platinum album and they were bankrupt.
I believe they got 3 cents a record, actually.
Yeah.
Off that Chasing Waterfalls, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Coolio and Gangsta's Paradise drop is getting 25 cents a record.
Really?
25,
yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. How do you feel about because I've been saying for a long time, and again, this is another thing LO listeners are probably sick of me bringing this up, but I feel like the way that the business is ultimately going is that essentially all the money will be in touring and merch, and that eventually we'll reach a point where the music itself will no longer be considered product at all, but strictly promotional. In other words, the music is completely free. Everybody's downloading whatever, which is kind of, for some people, that's how it is anyway. Some people don't pay for anything. Mm-hmm. They go to BitTorrent sites or whatever. But I think, iTunes will maybe eventually go away. Everything will be free in terms of the music itself, because you can't download a T-shirt and you can't download that live experience. Mm-hmm. So that's where all the money will be made, and the music itself will no longer be thought of as product.
I completely agree with that, and I've been saying that for years. And so, do I believe that that's where the direction is going to go? Absolutely. But at the same token, if you're a fan out there listening, I want you to answer this question: how is the artist that you love going to continue to make music if you don't support him?
Right.
If you are going to download it, come out to the show, buy a ticket, buy a T-shirt, because that person's going to have to start working construction pretty soon.
Right.
Wu-Tang was out there selling his CDRs for $1, so that shows you how these people don't realize what they're doing.
Right.
And at the same token, it is what it is, and it's a double-edged effect, because Napster came out and the whole music scene got shook, so people are taking the music for free, so now the artists have less of a budget, so now the CDs are worse, and we didn't really want to buy it to begin with. Why are we going to buy it now that's worse? You have 12 tracks of garbage surrounded by one hit.
Right.
I'm going to get that hit off. Matter of fact, I'm going to get that hit off LimeWire. I'm going to get that hit off BT Junkie, wherever it's at. And, kind of irks me, but at the same time, it is where it is. You got to understand where these people are coming from, too. I mean, they're working for $8, $10 an hour. They got 2 kids. They got to buy. What are they going to do? Buy diapers or buy a CD that has no consistency?
Right, exactly. And tell me about the tour. So you went on tour last summer?
We went on tour this past summer, We left in June, and we came back. The tour ended July 30th. By the time we got back from just making random stops, I think it was like middle of August.
How many dates did you do?
We had 10 dates on the tour.
Okay.
Which for us at Dead Notch Records was a complete feat, and we were stoked to even pull that off.
Yeah. So was this your first time doing something of that?
This was our first time putting all our chips on the table.
Yeah.
Seeing where it ended up. And it was crazy, man. Crazy. The shows were good. And some of the shows were actually great. Big ups to where were we in California?
Temecula.
Big ups to Temecula. No, it was Lake Elsinore. Big ups to Lake Elsinore, California for that show. Yeah, see that? I give them a 10 out of 10. Then it leaves me hanging.
It was Temecula, but it was also Lake Elsinore. It was like one of those weird combinations.
Oh, good save.
Kind of like Northfield is still part of Tilton, but it is Northfield.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, man, so that show was crazy. We did a SoCal gathering. It was a SoCal gathering of the Juggalos.
Yeah.
Big ups to the Juggalos, and we were coming all the way from across the country. We rocked the set, and all day, everyone there was saying we're the greatest. Now, believe me, man, you know what I mean? I got an ego. I'm an artist, so it was definitely kosher. But actually hearing it from the promoter who came up to us goes, yo, everyone wants you back. Everyone wants you back.
Cool.
It was awesome, man.
Yeah.
New Orleans, good stop. Texas, crazy. The only spot I did not like, and probably could coincide with our date got canceled, was Florida.
Really?
Yeah, Tampa Bay. We arrived there 2 days early, so we're talking to the club owner, and then the club owner ends up hearing. I guess the owner had no idea what our music was about. Ended up hearing and said, "We want nothing to do with you."
Oh, great! And you were already there.
We were already there, 2 days early, even. So whatever. Yeah.
What did you end up doing? Were you able to find another venue to play at, or
we actually did not.
No.
We tried.
Yeah,
but we did it. What we did is we just took a week off.
Yeah.
Not quite a week, about 5 days. Anyway, we took some time off and just enjoyed ourselves. I have a friend down there, so kicked it with them for a little bit and made the best out of the situation. That's what you got to do in life.
But overall, it was a success?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Because I know it's not easy.
Far from it.
Yeah. It's not easy.
We're talking about hard days, ramen noodles. Yeah. That is not a joke. We had a portable camping kit with us, and we had to go in and just eat ramen noodles out in Walmart parking lots.
Yeah.
I'm talking about getting gallon jugs of cleaning myself in a Walmart parking lot. It was not no glamorous rock star life.
It was fun, but it wasn't easy.
Yeah. No. Do you have plans to do another tour soon? Are you setting anything up, or are you more focused on doing shows around here?
Both. I mean, I want to do shows around here, absolutely. I want to work hand in hand with the Artemis Event Center in Franklin, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give any specific information because nothing's set, but there is a tour in the works.
Great.
It's going to be more or less East Coast regional.
Yeah.
I think that will definitely, we stretch our resources pretty thin.
Yeah.
So we want to, do the region. And when that works out, then go over to California. I got a lot of hookups with California, San Diego, Los Angeles, and then we want to do a tour from California to Utah to Colorado, Vegas, and when that works, and then we'll just link it all up again. So instead of doing a 10-date tour, very thin resources, it's going to be a 30-date tour of just packed houses.
Yeah, that's great. That's really good. And tell me about who else is on your label. You have, I assume there's others other than just yourself at this point? Yeah,
absolutely. My hype man Kinetic, who will be releasing a CD shortly, is on the label. Sam Hain, we're in the process of signing.
Okay.
Just got to iron out some details. It's just business.
Yeah.
And right now, pretty much, I'm looking for the next big thing. I want somebody that I don't have to babysit, straight up. That can come in, they know what they want to do. They might need a little bit of guidance as far as, hey, what sounds good, but they really know what they're doing. They're crafted, and they speak about something different, not the same old stuff. I will never sign anybody in my label that talks about the same old.
Yeah. Good. That's really good. Well, why don't we play another track from the disc that you brought? What's the name of the album again? I'm sorry.
It's called Death by Design.
Death by Design, okay.
The next track is going to be Freedom, featuring my homeboy King Gordy from Detroit.
Okay.
And, this track is 100% political, and in this track I speak about, 9/11. I talk about HIV, and I speak about media manipulation and everything in between.
I like it already. All right. So this is Freedom from Cadaver here on Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet.
This is for my soldiers who stand alone. It's time to go to war, they go grab the chrome. They call it freedom. And when it's daytime, the daddy ain't asking why. Proud baby girl, you don't have to cry. They were yelling freedom. Never time for my rights. Now for a minute, 9/11 was planned. I don't care what they tell you. My mind ain't control. I see what is real. An inside job that they meant to conceal. They have the power. Treat us like slaves. Makes like a cure, little Eddie of AIDS. Mother was an addict. Used a dirty needle. Contracted a virus when his son was still fetal. Now he's age 5. On borrowed time. Asking God why being born was a crime. They make so much of the suffering, the pain. Urine use the last thought in their brain. Pocket full of pills. Keep your lungs gasping without your monthly payment. They can buy a new mansion. And he's so excited for his first day of school. Fell asleep and they pronounced dead at 2. This is for my soldiers who stand alone. It's time to go to war, they go grab the chrome. They call it freedom. And when it's daytime, the daddy ain't asking why. Proud baby girl, you don't have to cry. They were yelling freedom. Fear and deception, government protection, keep you from acting out with aggression. Media's blasting, vices and wars. There is the tax sign from leaving your doors. Watch words they got half of you from birth. Feel you full of fiction about rules of religion. I know they're different eras and times. Please answer this with an open mind. What's the diff? Jesus a Mason, Christ crucified, Charlie's in prison. Man, I can tell, naughty and nice. You know Santa's fake. Why you bleed Christ? There's a simple one stored going down for the ages. Still over slavery labeled minimum wages. Jacked up insurance, healthcare and dental. Deny you when you need it. Hope your life ain't sentimental.
This is for my soldiers who stand alone. It's time to go to war, they go grab the chrome. They call it freedom. Freedom. And when it's daytime, the daddy ain't asking why. How, baby girl, you don't have to cry. People yelling freedom. Freedom.
This democracy's hypocrisy. The views have really gotten me. Wall Street prospers, but we live in poverty. How many times? How many ways must the clouds be great? So you follow what you say. This government is evil, strapped with deceit. Throw you to the side like a piece of meat. Cut your balls off just to make a profit. Satisfied about it, you will never stop. Media's horse in need of an abortion. Wipe out the box, what the hell are they forcing? CNN, ABC, F to the OX. Innocent Cooper, Diane Sawyer. Who's next? Put them in the grave. Ass seems slow. Let them know who when they all gotta go. People have the power by the number. Strike like lightning, bound like thunder.
This is for my soldiers who stand alone. It's time to go to war, they go grab the chrome. They call it freedom. Freedom. And when it's daytime, the daddy ain't asking why. How, baby girl, you don't have to cry. People yelling freedom. Freedom.
Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet. Matt from IPMNation.com here with Kate Aver and his assistant Coattails. Hello. And tell me about, there's something special about your CD that we definitely want to share with the audience because this is unique.
Absolutely. On the inside booklet of Death by Design, you will find the patented cure for HIV, which you can find on the government's website, uspto.gov.
Okay.
And, this patented number, it's been patented since 1996. It's my belief that they've had the cure way before that as well.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when I say open your mind, I guess we didn't really reiterate that earlier. Open your mind to what's really going on. Stop thinking that the people above you, the politicians and the oil tycoons and the banker elitists, that they're actually looking out for your own well-being. How could they look out for your own well-being? You know, they're the top 1% for a reason.
Right.
The top 1% look out for the top 1%. They're not going to look out for you.
Absolutely.
They couldn't care less about you. And more or less, they took Hitler's eugenics program and they incorporated it on themselves, meaning they started incorporating all the terms and all the ways that Hitler was going to lessen the population. Mm-hmm. And they've had big funding from Ted Turner, big funding from Bill Gates, and Bill Gates in a Harvard conference said we need to lessen the population, and through proper vaccinations and healthcare we should be able to do that. And he said it with a smile on his face and a suit, so everyone thought he was being all happy-go-lucky. Now you sit there and you tell me how he's going to do that in a nice manner.
I've seen that clip, yeah. And you said the HIV thing, that's from the government's website?
Yeah, the cure is actually on the government's website.
Oh.
Are there several cures out there? Possibly. That's a theory. But one is on the government's website, uspt.o.gov.
No kidding. Huh. Magic Johnson obviously found it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like Flavor Flav should look like him. You know? So, or he should look like Flavor Flav, my bad. In a press conference, I believe in 93, don't quote me on the year, Magic Johnson said, yeah, I got the cure and I'm fine. And they told him to shut up.
No
Give him some
kidding.
shut up money.
Very interesting.
Yeah, is what it is.
Yeah, very interesting. Wow, that's cool. Anything else about the disc that we should know like that? Or, I mean, that's kind of a big deal in and of itself.
That's just,
I don't think anyone else has done that.
You need real information. No, man. Pretty much, like, the album itself, from the first to last track is a path of knowledge that I think everyone should grab. And at the same time, don't take this as a seminar either. There's a lot of banging tracks on there that you could just play at a party.
Yeah.
We talked about it earlier. You could be playing that at a party and you don't have to be honed in on the lyrics and just be moving to it.
Right.
I like to move towards music. And, yeah, man, I guess basically the CD is Death by Design, and it's for this manner, from the poisons that are in your food and water that you're forced to consume because of economic slavery and the mass media that lies to you every waking moment. This is truly Death by Design.
I like it. I mean, I like the concept. I don't like that the mass media lies. No, not that part. Just to be clear.
I appreciate it, man.
Fox News is one of the most uninformative medias there is in the entire world. That's actually backed by proof that only 10% of their audience is actually knowledgeable about anything that they talk about.
That many? 10%?
Yeah. Jon Stewart has more fans that are knowledgeable.
Oh yeah, I've seen the studies you're talking about. Yeah, it's kind of. I just think of it as they're trying to take that whole fair and balanced motto and just be really ironic with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, we report and we decide, and then we tell you what to think.
Absolutely.
Where do people find you online? How do they find you online?
You can find me at Facebook, Reverb Nation, the MySpaces. I know MySpace really isn't used at all anymore, but I still got that up there in case you happen to stumble on it. Facebook is facebook.com/KDaverDNR. DNR stands for Dead Notch Records, so spell it out. Facebook.com/KDAVERDNR. Reverb Nation is ReverbNation.com/KDaver. And, yeah, man, hook me up on those sites if you guys want to hit me up, give me props, or hit me up with some information, you know what I mean, that could in turn better my life, and we can, you know, shoot back and forth about some knowledge.
Very nice, very nice. And Coattails.
Yes.
How do people find you? Through him?
Pretty much.
All right. Just checking.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have my own special website, but my real name's Nicholas Clegg, so if you want to go on there, CLEGG.
Right.
Yeah, same thing. We're always open to political topics. Recently, we've gotten into Anunnaki and stuff, so we're always looking for new things. And,
Yeah.
You're going to have to invite us on for another show for that topic.
Oh, yeah. We could be here for hours.
Yeah.
But real quick, before it's all said and done, I want to give big ups to the Occupy movements. I feel if it wasn't for them, we would have no strength at all as people. It's time for the 99 to take over the 1.
Yeah.
Now, people out there need to realize, stop thinking of like all these smoke and mirrors. If the military turns on its people, meaning if the military turns on the government, what does the government have? It has nothing. You have these old, washed-up men who just can't let go and have some vendetta against the poor. Now, if their power, which is the military, were to turn on them, they would have nothing.
Right.
So stop thinking that it's going to be something that we can't control. There's 99% of us against 1%.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, as soon as the 40 to 50% started to even out, that military would be fully backing to us. If it wasn't for our psychosis basically putting that value on the money, it would be nothing.
That's true.
So people need to stop. People need to get away from the monetary system. They always preach about changing the system. Why change the system? Create a new system. Jacques Fresco in charge of the Venus Project. Definitely check that out. Anyone listening to this, and you yourself, Matt, check out the Venus Project with Jacques Fresco. It's a resource-based economy, and I think that is the wave of the future.
Interesting. I will check that out. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, listen, we'll let you guys go, and let's finish up with one more track.
Okay. The last track is going to be Realization. We spoke about it earlier. It's where I put myself in the shoes of a soldier who's in Iraq writing home to his wife. Definitely this is a track where everyone just sits back and listens to.
Cool.
We have a female on the chorus singing, and it's a beautiful track. And I'd like to give big ups to Social Autopsy, my brother's group, for definitely helping out Dead Notch Records. And,
cool.
Thank you again, Matt. Thank everybody here.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. And before we go, I want to remind everyone, if you want to relive all the glory of tonight, you can anytime. Go to IPMNation.com/local outbreak, where all the shows are archived. And thank you to Tim Martin from CentralNHEvents.com. Don't forget to get in touch with Tim if you need a DJ for your event. Mention Shindig, and he will give you the Shindig discount. CentralNHEvents.com. Tim does a great job, so if you need a DJ, that's definitely where you want to go. And Realization is the name of the track?
Realization's the track, man.
All right, so this is Realization from K-Daver here on Local Outbreak on 100.1 The Planet. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And if you ask her why the heck she wore it, she wore it for that soldier who was far, far away. She wore it for the soldier who was far, far away.
When you come home, I'll stop this. When you come home,
it's all ending soon. I'll be home with you about the 15th of June. Tell Jim I love him, wish I could hug him. Over here we're looking, weapons of destruction. Bush got us here, I stayed for the fight. You voted for the change, but there's no end in sight. Days of the yester, the pain's starting to fester. My best friend died of bullets to the chest. Right before he passed, he looked me in the eyes. He said, Rob, please, you gotta stay alive. Think of Jessica, think of your son. He needs you now more than anyone. Tears swell up, I'm Xing off days, I'm Xing off the calendar, I'm Xing off ways. I'm coming home to you, baby, wrap you in my arms. No more Armageddon, no more bombs.
When you come home, I'll stop this. When you come home, I'll hide it good. I'll never cry again. When you come home to
Survive off the letters, they keep me connected. I'd write about my day, but I won't let you hear it. I won't let your beautiful eardrums get caressed by all the goddamn murder and the evilness. Good men die for something obsolete. Caught up in the oil greed, caught up in the feast. My backbone quivered when I became a witness. Look into the eyes of a mother who lost her kids. Hid from astray through the frontal lobe, busted through the walls of their broken home. I scream, God, why, as I look to the sky. I never, ever want to see my son die. I'm packing up my bags, erasing these visions, coming to my senses, forgetting these missions. This isn't war, just complete corruption, led to believe that we're fighting over something.
I saw you again. I knew just where you'd be. I'll stop this real soon when you're back safe with me. When you come home, I'll stop this. When you come home, I'll hide it good. I'll never cry again. When you come home to me.
100.1 The Planet's local outbreak with IPMNation.com.
The Planet's local outbreak is recorded weekly at the studios of 100.1 The Planet. It's engineered by Tim Martin of CentralNHEvents.com. Matt Connerton of IPMNation.com is the host of The Planet's local outbreak. The show is produced and edited by Annie Biello of 100.1 The Planet. For artist links and details about The Planet's local outbreak, log on to The Planet's Entertain Me page, WPNHFM.com. The Planet's local outbreak is available for download anytime online, IPMNation.com/local outbreak. The Planet's local outbreak is a product of 100.1 The Planet and Northeast Communications.
IPMNation.com.